Let's look at some quick ways to add easy attachments that are 3D printed to your Scuttle robot. First, let's look at this assembly here, which is just a simple joint that's made out of a servo, and it has three 3D printed components. We'll hide this one, and then you'll see the green U bracket is what the servo mounts directly to, and 4 screws will connect the servo to the U bracket, and it just kind of secures it. Most of the off-the-shelf regular hobby servos will fit into this, and you're going to use a coarse screw to secure it there. And then you'll use this simple round servo horn, which comes with most of the kits. The standard spacing agrees with these 4 holes, and you'll use the small coarse screws. They're approximately M2 screws to secure it to the plastic bracket. The cord can get fed out through this this void in the bracket, and then the bearing that's included here is a skateboard bearing that's very common off-the-shelf component and gives you a nice smooth rotation movement on the back side where it's being held, so that you you can support a moment on whatever you're holding on the output. So we'll look at that, show this again. Okay, so this purple bracket came from my robotic arm assembly, and I removed some features that were going to hold a PVC pipe on this end, and it's just showing you that now this variation of the part has a flat surface and it can be attached to your extrusion, and here's one way that you might do it. This is also a 3D printable part which would take no supports, and it's held pretty firmly to the extrusion. And if you open this part, then you can, if you wish, just slice the part using, right now I'll display with a cross section, but you would actually do this with a Boss extrude. Make a sketch of a rectangle up above on the top half of the part, then you're gonna slice the part wherever you want it, and you can print this. And if you use super glue or PVC glue, you'll have a very strong bond, and you can simply print this part, print your modified what I've called the friction pivot, and combine them, and then you can attach that anywhere you want to on the extrusions. Obviously also you could create a rotation where this face is vertical, in case you want this output to swing left and right instead. You can see where this cord has a passage built into the blue part, and you can see, oops, I didn't mean to do that. You can see that you can pass that cord down through here, even with when it has the servo connector on the bottom of it, and you could feed that out to a joint. If you wanted to connect a second joint to here, then you would pass it through there. But in this case, you could feed it out along the side and bring it back to the robot. Okay, so the other parts that I can show you are this simple camera bracket that has flexibility. You can tighten these screws, and they're going to pinch it in whatever place that you need it. So if you were going to put your USB camera in a new location on your robot or on the arm of the robot, you can use this kind of link and these compatible fingers to assemble it in whichever way you want. And there's also one of these models that I created that has a 90-degree twist. So this first joint will rotate in this plane, and the second joint would rotate up and down. So between these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 available components, you could modify them to suit your needs. And instead of holding the camera, you could hold something like the ultrasonic sensor or an infrared temperature sensor, or basically add whatever you want. Just make a if you want to keep your modeling simple, you can make a a boss that just has a flat plate here and put screw holes for whatever you'd like to attach. And then finally you'll find on the robotic arm there are some PVC adapters where there's a modified version of this blue bracket that will couple to a PVC pipe. So if you need to extend something and then put an end effector further out, then you can do that too. So hopefully those models would be a starting point if you'd like to just take them, grab them, do some quick modifications, and then create your own assembly.